Before science named the stars, humanity asked a darker question. Who built the universe? To the Gnostics, the highest reality was not this visible world, but a realm of perfect divine light. They called this ultimate reality the unknowable source, beyond form, beyond language, beyond everything the mind could grasp. From that unknowable source, they imagined divine realities unfolding, layers of existence called aeons. But in their story, wisdom reached beyond her proper place, and from that rupture, a flawed creation began. From the rupture came another power, the Demiurge, a lesser creator who believed himself to be God. The Demiurge shaped a lower cosmos, guarded by rulers who trapped divine light inside the material world. These were the Archons, keepers of the cosmic prison, standing between humanity and the higher divine realm. Humanity, they believed, was more than matter, because a hidden spark of the higher realm lived within.
The prison was not merely outside them. The Gnostic mystery was that a fragment of the divine might already be inside.
To the Gnostic imagination, the visible world could look magnificent and still be a prison.
They believed the greatest deception was forgetting where the soul truly came from.
Elias sought answers from those who believed knowledge, not obedience, could awaken the soul.
Gnosis meant knowledge, but not ordinary knowledge. It meant awakening to the hidden truth of existence.
Beyond the visible heavens, Gnostics imagined a realm of pure fullness, a reality beyond corruption and death.
In the myth, wisdom's descent became the turning point, the moment divine light entered a broken creation. The Demiurge shaped the lower world, believing his creation was the whole of reality. 7 rulers stood between the material world and the hidden light, guarding the paths of the heavens.
They shaped the body from matter, but the body alone could not explain the mystery of consciousness.
And when the spark entered humanity, something the rulers could never fully control was born: awareness. Perhaps the first step was not discovering God, but discovering the ignorance that stood between humanity and truth.
In the Gnostic imagination, salvation was an ascent from darkness toward the hidden light.
The world had not changed. Only Elias had. And now every stone carried a question. But the Gnostic answer created an even greater mystery. If this world was made by a lesser power, who made the power behind it?
Perhaps the deepest Gnostic lesson was not who built the universe, but how little we truly understand about what lies beyond it.
Who built the universe? Gnosticism offered a mystery, science offers questions, and the final answer remains beyond us.